Man, now this is a video I have no interest in making. It's day 81. I had a weird day. I had a bad day. I don't know. I don't really enjoy particularly talking directly about things going on. It's not something that satisfies me in any way, and I think it's sort of reductive to like the nature of being alive. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I got to make a video because things are okay to whatever extent they can be. It's so funny to be dramatic. It's just so funny. It's just so. I uh I woke up this morning after I was asleep for about an hour, and I woke up to the sound of my cat licking my hair. He's never done that before. I take minoxidil, which is incredibly fatal to cats. Um, incredibly, one of the most fatal substances. I've always been as diligent as I could be. Maybe I just I'll stop taking it entirely now. He's okay. He was in the hospital all day. No signs of minoxidil poisoning. But from what I've been told, I'm out of the woods. But it's worth pretending like I'm in the woods for another, 72 hours. He has none of the signs, and he's obviously shaken because he's been in a vet all day. All day. But he seems okay, in the amount that I can understand. I have to, trace him for um, his breathing because minoxidil, what it does is it fills their lungs with water and it just kills them. Um, Definitely not going to take it anymore. I can't handle this degree of fear and stress. I slept for about an hour. I rushed him to the vet after, panicking, if you could see me in a state of panic. And I've been in states of panic like this before for people that were, for humans rather than felines. It's funny how it's not that different. Um, the repercussions are bigger, I suppose. But I guess I just don't really want to articulate how afraid I am and how mad I am. So I just gotta stop talking, you know? It's so stupid. It would be such a stupid thing. It's so funny and it terrifies me. It's a very. God, I love my cat. I can only survive so much, self hatred if something happened to him, especially something like this. Um, and the fear, God, I can't stand it. You know, I don't remember where I read it, but someone was like, what emotion are you unwilling to feel? It'll tell you a lot. And I think most people are unwilling to feel most emotions. They don't want to feel scared. Most people don't want to be angry. Most people don't want to be upset. Like I think it's kind of one of those silly, wise questions. But for me, it's fear. I hate. I'll do anything to avoid something that makes me feel the sense of a sense of fear. And I shut down entirely when I'm afraid. I dropped him off at the vet, and they said they had to monitor him for 6 hours. And I just so happened to have to go to work for 6 hours. Um, by some miracle I could not define for you, I managed to get through work, and I got him. He was okay, and he's walking around now, or sleeping under the couch, or. But I'm still afraid, and I'll be afraid for I guess I don't know until Monday. I don't know. I don't know. I feel very stupid and mad and embarrassed. I hate talking about things like this. Not because I'm like, not because I don't like speaking about emotional things or getting emotional, but because I'm not entirely sure I agree with sharing these things on any level. Um, I There's a large part of me that is fundamentally against the expression of emotional distress in this format, in the format of media, of whether it's YouTube or Instagram, because I don't understand its point. Because I can tell you right now, this doesn't make me feel better. Speaking about it, people seeing doesn't make me feel good. I don't want anyone to feel anything for me for any reason. When people feel sentimental towards me, or sorry, those are things I also don't allow generally. I try to live my life in such a way where nobody ever has to feel that way towards me, and I do not like it when they do. But I want to make a video. I don't want things to not be normal. I don't want to feel like anything bad has happened yet. So I want to make this video, and I don't have the capacity to lie. I dislike this quite a bit, but it's so funny the way you what is it? How does it happen that the capacity for like a human being to bond to an animal is just like, it's unreal. It's very unreal when I meet people that don't have it, where they don't understand people being very close to their dogs or their cats, or even an animal that you don't apply as much affection to, right? Like a cat, actually, for a lot of people, or an iguana or some shit. And you could always argue like one thing is liable to be worthy of more sentiment because it has a more intellectual relationship with you. You know, dogs understand commands, they perceive you as their leader. Cats are a little bit more freeform. But maybe it's just because I know that he's my responsibility. And I know that he makes me very happy. And I want to take care of him. And taking care of him makes me feel good. And so failing that and causing him pain and distress it's one of those things that I really can't accept. But he's wandering around. He's right here. You see him? You see him? There he is. He's wandering around. He's not hiding under the couch. And I spoke to the poison control people a few times, and they said, look, by now symptoms would have manifested, but 72 hours is, because you never know, because this is such an acute form of poisoning with such enormous and dramatic repercussions. It's not like eating chocolate. And I guess I should just go bald. I could care less. I'd chop off one of my arms for my cat. I know it sounds so silly, but I would 100% happily lose an arm. I'd go blind. I'd do it. I would. I don't know what it is. I struggle. I struggle to form any kind of emotional connection to anyone or anything. And generally, I am an emotional person, but emotions make me intensely uncomfortable. And it is very hard for me to feel. It is very hard for me to feel much. Yeah, it's very hard for me to feel much. That's the sentence. I was never I was never a crier until someday I just suddenly I was. You know, I think my brother said to like my mom there was some dramatic shit going on. He was like, I've seen him cry 3 times, and this is one of those times. So this is a pretty big deal. And I remember him saying that, and I thought, man, I feel like I cry a lot, but maybe nobody knows. But I don't know. What does he want to go back in the bag? Huh? There he is. It would be too much. It would be way too much. This would be the one. And it's not for lack of tragedy in my life, I can assure you. And I don't mean the tragedy of the pet. I mean of humans, family, and I mean family. I don't mean grandma and grandpa. I don't even mean mommy and daddy. And I do worry if that's a fragility that I can't mask, or that will just take me out. Because I'm probably a little bit too young to already be hitting the wall of what I'm willing to deal with, you know? It's weird. Yeah, I feel very weird and I feel very scared. Yeah. And I'm so mad. And there's a large part of me that doesn't want to post this or post anything. And I don't know, I don't really. I've never positioned myself in any of these videos as someone that has any interest in helping anyone, in case you haven't noticed. I like the idea of someone getting something from something I do, but I'd be lying to you if I told you I was an altruistic person or I did any of this for the sake of others. I don't. And it's not to say that I'm not compassionate. I'm as compassionate or as empathetic as anyone else. And I don't want anyone to be hurt, and it feels good to help others. So I'm not saying I'm devoid of any of those sensations. But I'm saying it's not a motivator for me to post this under the impression that, oh, it really helped someone. I don't want that. Even that makes me feel unwell, you know? And I don't know if there's a lesson in being publicly vulnerable to this extent. I don't know. I don't know if it's a lesson I need to learn. I don't know if there's any benefit to it. And it's not something I want to do. It's not. It really fundamentally is something I dislike in general. But I'm doing it. I don't want to not make a video. I don't want things to not be normal. I'm afraid to even discuss it. Like I'm willing this weirdness into reality. Ramus, what are you doing, buddy? Where is he? Hold on. He's hiding, I think, behind the bookshelf. Hi! He's going behind the bookshelf, which is a little strange. I'll leave him to it, though. I just feel like such a stupid fucking asshole. And obviously it cost a fortune, and it cost a fortune I don't have, so I took the money from somebody else. You know? From someone that also doesn't have money and also pays for a ton of other things, in my life. So it's like, I'd like to get past these next few days, and I just have so much to do. I just feel very stupid and very low. But I really just want the cat to be okay. I'll be euphoric when I'm convinced the cat is okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I've got. I'd love to give you some kind of comedic advice, but I don't have any. I don't know. For me, when I'm afraid, all I can focus on is the annihilation of that fear, right? I can't think of anything else. And the annihilation of that fear can only come at what? The actualization of it, you know? And right now, I can only wait. And things are looking good, and they said he's okay. But there's more time, before I'm willing but to let it go. I've got to wait at least another day or a couple days per the Center for, Poison Control. I think I think it's normal to want to get rid of fear as quickly as you can, is the moment you feel it. I don't think there's anything distinct about this in reference to myself. Um, but I can't do anything else. I'm not a functioning person when I feel negative, when I feel bad, when I feel sick or scared. I'm non-functioning. And I'm not non-functioning like, I don't stress eat or stress drink or I'm incapable of doing those things. I'm incapable of them. I'm incapable of doing anything that alters my state, anything that makes me feel something. All I can really do is kind of stare at the wall. It's all I can do. But I know everything will be okay. I'm sorry this video is weird. I'm sorry I even made it. But I will see you tomorrow. Probably a lift day, right? And thank you for everything. And I will see you on the next one. I'm sorry this one was grim. And thank you.